On January 20th, 2019, North America will witness a very rare sign in the heavens, a superblood moon. What also makes this day of significance is the fact that it's on the second anniversary of the United States President Donald Trump inauguration. Shalom, Israel. I'd like to first give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and in the ancient Hebrew tongue, that is the name of the Heavenly Father and His beloved Son. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles, the true teachers of the word of Yahweh Shai, and the elders and apostles of GMS. Also, the prophets teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom to you. Much respect to you as well for teaching this truth on the highways and byways and laboring in His word. So like I said, on January 20th, there'll be a super blood moon. And as watchmen of Israel and as watchmen and using our discernment in this time, we have to, watch out for these signs. This is a significance. A blood moon is a representation of war coming and destruction. So this is a sign that we need to watch and we need to understand what's going on. So how Esau will put it will be, basically this is a total lunar eclipse. And a total lunar eclipse is when the sun and the moon are on opposing sides of the earth. And as the moon travels behind the earth's shadow, it gives off this orange to red tint, which is why it's called the blood moon. So like I said, that's Esau's, the so-called white man's philosophy and his understanding of, why it's a blood moon. But like I said, let's get to some scripture. I want to go to Genesis 1:14 right now. And Yahweh said, Salakia, Genesis 1:14. And Yahweh said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. So the sun and the moon are representation of the dividing of the seasons, dividing of days and years, but also for signs. So once again, a blood moon is a sign, okay? And we have to be mindful of these things because, like I said, this is very significant. Let me go to Joel chapter 2, verse 30 and 31. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord to come. So right there, it tells you that the moon will be turned into blood, which is a representation of the before the great day of the great and terrible day of the Lord. So we, as like I said before, as watchmen, we got to understand that this is a huge significance. The fact that this falls right on the second anniversary of Trump's inauguration, and like I said, it's not just that it's quote unquote Trump that's gonna go down. This is America. This is Babylon that's gonna go down. All of these presidents they all were a part of a system. So when they were presidents, whether it be Barack Obama, George Bush, Senior, George Bush Jr., whoever, all of these presidents were basically put in positions, not selected, but they weren't elected, but they were selected from a shadow government, and they were put in position ultimately through Yahweh Shai, but they were put in position to continue the oppression of the so-called Native Americans, so-called blacks, so-called Latinos, which are the 12 tribes of Israel. So that's why you never saw or have never seen, America change in any type of way. You know what I mean? It never got better. It always got worse because they just wanted to give you the illusion of, someone trying to come up with a solution. You know what I mean? And that's what the Hegelian dialect is, to give you a right and left paradigm, which is, the Democrats versus Republicans, blue versus red, Bloods versus Crips. It's always this dialect of you got to choose a side, but not understanding that, you need to understand who exactly is controlling that. That's the key. So, Salaki for going off a bit, but once again, these are for signs, and you can Google any nation right now, man. From Turkey, Greece, Russia, China, Japan, all of the major nations. They're all preparing for war, man. This is very serious. Once again, we're in Babylon, the land of confusion. So they're not gonna tell you to prepare for war. What they're gonna do is they're gonna subconsciously, do silly shit and put it in movies and in video games and music and music videos, to kind of, implant that in your subconscious, because they honestly, they don't want you to know. Like I said before, they want to destroy us. That's the whole goal. Just like we in Rome 70 AD, it's the same thing. They want to destroy us. They don't want it to exactly, they have to tell us, but they want to do it in a subconscious way. They don't want to be, conscious and say, hey guys, we need to prepare as a nation, because this nation is against you. This is the system of the beast. This is the beast system, which will manifest into that mark of the beast chip that John in Revelation speaks of. And speaking of Revelation, I want to go to Revelation 6 and 12 right now. and basically, once again, showing how the Most High will basically use the moon as a sign of destruction, as a sign of war. All right, so Revelation 6 and 12. And I beheld, when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Okay? So what he's saying is, John is seeing how Yahushua opened the sixth seal, and he saw a great earthquake, once again representing destruction, and basically through that earthquake, and I'm pretty sure volcanoes went off and everything. So smoke went up into the moon. So the moon, and the moon became as blood. So the moon, once again, that moon was a blood moon. Okay, so we got to use this once again. I'm linking up, precept upon precept to show you that the blood moon is a representation of destruction, is a representation of war, of judgment. So we got to use that discernment. Let me go to Revelation 6 and 13. And the stars of heaven and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. So basically, the stars are representation of missiles. Okay? What John is seeing, you got to understand, in this time, he doesn't understand what a missile is. So when he sees a quote-unquote missile, he thinks it's a star. It's like a shooting star. If you were to go on YouTube right now and to type in a missile launching, it looks like a shooting star. So that's what John's seeing. So when he says that even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind, that's basically saying, just like how if a mighty wind was to shake a tree, its leaves will fall and they will go everywhere. So when he looked up in the heavens and he looked up in the sky, he saw missiles falling everywhere. Okay? Once again, representing destruction. So that blood moon is a representation of the Most High about to bring destruction upon a nation. Okay? America is about to be destroyed. I've explained this before on previous posts, that America is a representation of Virgin Babylon. Why is it called Virgin Babylon? Because once again, it's the land of confusion, but it's a virgin because no one has ever went into it. No other nation has ever invaded America. No one has touched her. Okay? That's why her destruction is going to be greater than any other nation ever. Okay? I want to go to verse Revelation 6 and 14. And the heaven departed as the scowl when it is rolled together. Salakia. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. And every mountain and island were moved out of their place. So when Yahushua came back, when he's going to come back, he's bringing a great destruction, man. And basically, the earth rolled up. The earth rolled up like a scroll. So the earth basically melted. The mountain shook. Everything fell out of its place. Okay? That's what it's saying. When it says rolled up, the earth basically shook. How you see mountains right now, and you see all these trees and all these roads and highways and all that, everything's going to melt, man. Everything's going to come to nothing, to naught. Okay? So that's why, once again, these blood moons are a representation. That's why it's very significant, okay? These are very significant times we're in, man. I want to go to, verse 15, Revelation 6 and 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens, and in the rocks of the mountains. So once again, that destruction was so devastating. It shook the great men, the chief captains. The chief captains meaning all your firefighters, all your the captains of the military around the world, all of these sergeants and lieutenants and Secretary of Defense and all of these guys. They all were shook in that day. They're all going to be shook in that day. They all hid themselves in dens, man. In dens, you can literally, if you want to YouTube right now, the elite, basically funding bunkers. They have bunkers, underground bunkers right now that look like 5-star hotels that they think they're going to escape from this destruction. Okay, these people, they know what's coming. They're preparing for what's coming. They just think that they're going to make it out. What you don't understand is they're globalists. Globalists believe in population reduction, okay? Population reduction, so that way the people who are still left standing, they can control those people a lot easier and they still stay on top. So once again, we at this time, we have got to understand what these blood moons represent. Once again, I'm not telling you that on January 20th, that's when the world is, going to free fall. No, what I'm telling you is that is a sign that you should get ready and build your faith up. Okay? These are the times that's coming. This is what's coming. I want to go to Luke chapter 21 and verse 11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, famines, pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. So once again, you are seeing that now. Over the last 10 to 12 years, there's never been more earthquakes that have went off ever in the history of mankind. Okay, you had more earthquakes, more hurricanes that have been devastating than ever on this planet. Okay, we've seen signs and wonders in the heavens that we've never seen before on this planet. That's because the Most High is about to reveal himself. These are signs and these are wonders that you have got to get ready. So this blood moon directly over the United States, directly on the second anniversary of the president of the United States, of the president of Babylon, the president of the country where you are in your captivity. That's his second anniversary of his inauguration. That's symbolic, man. That's symbolic. Let me go to Luke. This is chapter 21, verse 31. So likewise, ye, when you see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of Yahweh is nigh at hand. Exactly. So you got to understand in these times, through all of this, that's why you gain your faith. That's why you study to seek yourself approved, man. So that way you understand that the kingdom is coming. Everything we went through, that's why we're gaining this knowledge right now, to understand during this grace period to come back to the Father. Because we are given a kingdom on the other side, man. Yahweh Shai is coming through the tribe of Judah. He's going to be a so-called black brother, okay? So all we got to do right now is go out to the highways and byways, preach, come back to his word, come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of our Father. And when he comes back, we will have a kingdom, okay? Way better than this. Way better than this. Couldn't get undescribable, man. This kingdom is some shit compared to what we got coming, okay? Let me go to verse 32. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. So this generation here, that's why you have so many, to be honest with you, that's why you have so many people all of a sudden on this planet. There's over 7 billion people. There's never been as many people on the planet. Why? Because the harvest is right, man. Because these are all the souls, this is the reincarnation of all those people who are about to be judged. The world is about to be judged. All those people who rejected the Most High through all these reincarnations, all these captivities, all the people who have mistreated the so-called Native Americans, the so-called blacks, the so-called Latinos, they're about to be judged, man. through Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Let me go to Luke 21 and verse 33. So Luke 21 and 33. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with suffering and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. So what he's saying in Luke chapter 21, verse 33 and 34, is that heaven and earth is going to pass away, but his word is going to stand forever. So that means that these prophecies are going to come to pass. Okay? You hear a lot of people in the world say, if he's real, then why would he let this happen? Why would he let this happen? That's because his word, he's a man of his word. Everything that he said in his book, everything that he told the prophets to prophesy, that has to come true. Then he's going to show himself. That's why now all of a sudden you see that this kingdom is starting to slowly crumble, because the Most High is revealing himself slowly. It's going to be just like Egypt, except on a greater level, man. On a greater level. And in 34, I want to read Luke 21 and 34 again. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with suffering and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unaware. So he's saying that you should be a watchman at this time. Don't you be caught in drunkenness. Don't you be caught up in the cares of this life, all the worries of this life. How is this gonna get paid? And when is the new Bad Girls Club premiering? And Love and Hip Hop is coming out. The new season's coming out this month, and you shouldn't be worried about nothing in this world. If you have true faith, the Most High gonna provide for you what he needs to provide for you. Because guess what? If you suffer with him on this side like he did, there's gonna be a greater kingdom that you can't even understand for you very soon. Okay? So I hope this message was edifying to those who needed to hear it. Israel, keep going, keep praying, stay humble, stay focused. The kingdom is at hand. All praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And like I said before, we got this. Keep going.